It's Friday, and so it's time to take out the trash. Thank you for joining us once again for Garbage People. Brett is here, and he's got his garbage person ready to go. Mine first, though. My garbage person. Oh, and by the way, I do have my trash. My garbage person, who you're going to see more of, is an individual, but sort of just a symbolic individual. It's going to be this very angry man screaming at the cops in the Michigan State Capitol. I'm gonna keep him here for a little bit. We have a bit more from that scene. Take a look. Okay, so just to be clear, my garbage people this week are going to be mainly the armed individuals of these anti-lockdown protests. These are going to be a collection of militia members, and there's some white supremacists mixed up in there, and there's some Proud Boys depending on where you go, and it's grifters and opportunists and extremists that they literally don't care at all about this pandemic, but they don't care about the protest in regard to the pandemic. They're here, as they always are, because they want to intimidate the government to make themselves feel strong, to have an effect on society, whatever. And potentially for some of them, as has been very clear, I mean, look at the write-ups of anti-extremist reporters, to spark some sort of civil conflict. Many of them have been very explicit about that. That's not the majority or anything like that, but they are willing to threaten people, endanger lives, imply that they're ready to start violence, literally in government. I mean, take a look at this picture. So there's a tweet from a state senator. Directly above me, men with rifles yelling at us. Some of my colleagues who own bulletproof vests are wearing them. I've never appreciated our sergeants at arms more than today. So you have legislators meeting as they are ringed above by guys with guns. It is a pull of a trigger away from the premise for The Handmaid's Tale, effectively, and the implication is there. Thankfully, they haven't started shooting yet, but how many of them are waiting for it, or waiting for a spark, honestly?
Yeah, it's so stupid. When you have an assault, I don't know if this is fair to say, but like when you're that guy and you have an assault rifle, you are just, everything feels like an opportunity to just whip it out in front of people. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, just go get a big truck. Just go get a big truck and throw some truck nuts on it. Don't bring your assault rifle down to the Capitol. That got sent around to like our pitch channel that a bunch of people, the entire company can pitch stories for Mate Show. And the response that I saw that was the best is like, this is the epitome of white privilege. Like if you are any other race, creed, or color, and you go down to the state capitol with an assault rifle and full on military fatigues and a bulletproof vest, like you get shot on the way there. Mm-hmm. Someone that's dressed like that guy shoots you, period. And then it's not really clear whether you are ever going to get your day in court. Yeah. Whether your family will ever get the day in court to, avenge your death by, availing themselves of the kinds of legal recourses that guy, that right winger in the militia with the AR-14, which stands for assault rifle gun, is availing himself of.
They hate that so much when they say that.
It does. And it's funny because they don't know that it stands for assault rifle.
Mm-hmm. They don't. Why don't they know that? Just Google it, people. But anyway, yeah, there's the obvious racial component. I mean, the fact that they're spitting in the face of cops. These guys who say all the time, like it's always the same thing. Respect the cops, respect the soldiers. I kind of feel like feeling strong and scary, so I am willing to spit in their face, and if it comes down to it, I will begin shooting them. I will shoot cops in the head during the civil war that I've been dreaming of my entire life. I mean, the fact that Donald Trump is tweeting that the governor should give in, so...
He says there's good people on both sides.
There's good people. I mean, he's telling us who these people are right there, but think about it. If only there was a term for getting guns and implying that there might be violence to terrorize political figures into giving you what you want, there should be a term for it. That would be convenient right about now. What do you think, Brett?
Well, I just think Trump is never concerned with leading America. He's only ever concerned with leading America in the polls. Mm-hmm. And he needs to lead. But all he's ever done, the only reason that the curve has flattened has nothing to do with Donald Trump, period. 100%. It is Trump has always looked, and I get some horns from the truck nut people out there. I don't know if you heard that, but Trump has only made decisions relative to the actions of other people who are taking this seriously. So when Gavin Newsom and Andrew Cuomo were like, we need to do something, we need to actually take action, that's when Trump changed his tune. And everyone else who is reasonable and respects the scientific method or just being careful, like, they're the ones that made the decisions. And now Trump is the one. And then Trump was the one who was like, I'm going to try to win this political battle and then also position myself strategically. So it is revealed to everyone with a brain that the only thing I'm trying to do is win in November.
Yeah.
And so instead of making good decisions, he's really put himself in a very transparent position for me, because I follow the news, where he says to Democratic governors, you really need to appease my base. But in states where he's more short up, like in Georgia, he doesn't want the base to go out and die. So when the governor is actually in a position and is only responding to Trump's messaging the way it is on Twitter, because that's the closest he can get, when Brian Kemp is, I'm going to reopen Georgia, Trump then goes to him and says, you shouldn't do that, because he knows there will be negative consequences for doing what the Republican governors have been, trying to get to happen, and positive consequences from a medical standpoint if you do continue common sense lockdown and just be careful. As we learn more, we're going to open it up. But everyone just sits there and is like, I will find some statistic buried in some report that I can just feel good about retweeting a crappy meme of, whether it's accurate or not, so I can feel some kind of moral superiority.
That's what Twitter's for. Feeling superior. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.